Hello everyone, a very good evening to all of you. I welcome all of you to this live session on cracking top software jobs without a background in computer science. My name is Shantanu Rana and I will be your host for this session today. In this session, we will discuss how learners from both tech and non-tech background can crack top tech jobs in companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Uber, and more. We will also discuss about the interview preparation strategies and the resources that can be used to crack these roles. Coming from a non-tech background, I understand that it will be a little difficult for you to understand right now. But no need to worry, we have got you covered. By the end of this session, you will be able to understand step by step on how you can also secure your dream job in these companies. Also, at the end of this session, we'll spare some time for 10 to 15 minutes where all your queries or questions will be answered. The speaker will be answering all your queries throughout the session as well. Now, talking about the speaker, I am very pleased to welcome Kirti Purswani for today's session. Kirti will share her interview experience to give you a deeper insight into this process. She has cracked companies like Microsoft, Amazon, Uber, and Atlassian while coming from an electrical engineering background herself. She has mentored thousands of learners to crack tech interviews and secure their dream jobs. So please welcome Kirti Purswani. Over to you, Kirti.
Hi guys, I'm really excited to be here and I'm looking forward to have a very chill conversation with you. I want you guys to ask me as many questions as you can in the chat. This is not like a one-way communication, right? Use this to your full potential. Earlier when I was in college, I did not have the resources where I could go and ask such questions. But luckily you guys do have. So make full use of it. Take complete advantage and ask me as many questions as you have. And there's nothing like wrong or right question over here. I know you must be having a lot of doubts and a lot of questions about preparation, what to study, how to study. And also, I understand that right now there are too many resources available. There's too much competition happening. So let's discuss things one by one and let's see how I can help you out, right? So I'll be looking forward to you guys asking me questions basically, and I'll talk about everything in detail. Let's start from my journey. As Shantanu said, that I am from non-sales background. I'm from Triple E. Even though I was from NIT, I started my career with 6 LPA, and then after that, I struggled a lot with development and stuff, and I knew only bit of DSA. So there's a long journey about how did I prepare, about how did I improve, and currently I am doing well. But I also know that if I could do it, anyone can do it, because it's not like I'm smart or anything. I am no way exceptional than other people. I've seen much more smart people than me. And it's just that I did not give up. I kept working hard, and that's why I'm here. And now I would really want that you guys could also do the same. So that is why we are here. And I am looking at the comments also. So if there are any questions, we can keep doing that, right? Uh, so the first question that I can see is DSA for front-end development. And the question is from someone who is from non-CS background itself. And he or she has fear for DSA for front-end development. See, so the interviews that are there for front-end and back-end are different. For front-end, usually that much DSA is not required, but some companies don't say like that. Like for example, if you take company like a Google, so they have a very generic interview. So they will expect you to know DSA. It doesn't matter whether you're from front end or back end. But there are a few companies for whom you don't need DSA. So that's why you need to do very company specific preparation also. If you're a front end developer, you need to read about interview experiences and see what's expected, right? If you're a front end developer, you must be having experience in one particular domain, I'm guessing. So suppose you write code in React, or suppose you write code in Flutter. So you need to do your research that what all opportunities available, in which all companies it's available, and what sort of questions are asked. I am a full stack developer, so I have more idea about that. So I can guide you about that. But always it is better that you take guidance from someone who is in exactly same profile as you are. So if you are into front end development, I would highly suggest that build your connections on LinkedIn and then contact someone who is doing awesome in that. And that is the power of social media that we have nowadays. I understand that when we open LinkedIn, a lot of people go like, imposter syndrome hits, and it's very demotivating that everyone's getting jobs in great companies, Fang, Amazon, Google, everyone's getting there. And sometimes it can be extremely demotivating, but LinkedIn is a great place to build really good connections, to get referrals, and to understand what sort of preparation you're supposed to do. I have myself helped and mentored a lot of people on LinkedIn. Now it is not possible because there are too many connections for me. So I would suggest you that approach someone who has good reach also, but who can take out time to mentor you personally, and then you can ask him or her what to prepare and stuff like that, right? I'm going to see more questions now. Um, what is the roadmap for software engineering? This is a very, very generic question. I think there's no one who can tell you, what, do this, and you will become a good software engineer. Software engineering itself has a lot of stuff into it. Like you can become a full stack developer. Maybe you might be more focused on front end or back end, or maybe you can go into data science. Maybe you can go into testing, machine learning, blockchain. There's like so much happening nowadays. So there is no one single path to get into software engineering. So let's try to keep the questions as specific as possible, right? I would love to answer as many questions as possible. So we have a question from a class 10th pass out, which is very interesting. He is saying that he wants to become a software engineer, and he is new to C programming. What to do next? See, I would nowadays, I think, see, to understand your logical thinking, whether you can solve problems or not, to see your logical thinking and problem solving. One way that all the companies are using right now is seeing whether you have good knowledge in data structures and algorithms or not. So I would really suggest everyone, whoever wants to get started with software engineering, at least for backend and all, start looking at DSA concepts. It's data structures and algorithms. So start with basic data structures like trees, arrays. Start with things like arrays, linked lists, then move on to trees, graphs, and stuff. So start with very basic stuff and then move to advanced stuff. There's a lot of free resources online available. You can practice everywhere. There are a lot of tutorials also available. If you have good problem solving and logical thinking, you can do great in software engineering, and there is no doubt about that. There are so many people who are doing amazing by just doing this, like seriously, because tech stack will always keep evolving. Even if you know like a particular tech stack right now, it might not be what a company is looking forward to. So company sees whether you have good Google skills, whether you can learn new stuff quickly, whether you have that problem solving mind or not. And if you have these characteristics, company will be more than happy to hire you. Also, there is a large gap between the skill set that people are offering and the skill set that companies are looking forward to. If you build that skill set, there is nothing that can stop you from getting a very, very good job. So let's focus on how can we build the skills, and you can easily get jobs. Trust me, companies are struggling to get good people right now. For even one position, there are like 40-50 interviews taken. So many interviews are taken to fill just one position, because there is so much gap, and there are so many engineering pass outs nowadays, but they don't give the skills that companies are looking forward to. So let's focus on building the skills, right? I am just reading the questions now, guys. So the next question is from someone who has 10 years of experience in finance. Can you change career transition to software engineer? Actually, that's the great part about software engineering. You can be from non-sales background. You can be from a tier 3 college. You could be having background from anything. Like, it doesn't matter. As long as you can build a good profile, company will be very happy to hire you. Now, yeah, it will be a bit harder for you compared to the conventional CS students from tier 1 colleges. Definitely, it will be harder, right? But it's only about the first push. So how can you build a good profile? See, if this is where you have to reach in software engineering, There are many ways to reach over here. You could be interested in DSA, you could be interested in open source contributions, you could be interested in competitive programming, any one thing. Just pick any one thing and be extremely good at that. Like build a very strong profile in that. Like for example, if you do competitive programming, it's not something that you should do, you must do to get a good placement. That's not the thing. But it will definitely, highlight your profile. It will set you apart from the other profiles. So it will really set you apart. And whenever someone sees a resume, oh, the person has a great ranking in competitive programming, immediately you will catch your eye, and definitely you will get interview calls. So just to build a strong profile, pick up any one thing. Now it could also be open source contribution, like just start doing dev and do some open source contributions, and you will have a good profile to show, and that will really interest the companies, and companies will call you for interviews. Now interview process is same, it's DSA, system design and stuff. And you can easily say, nowadays, that you wanted to switch, or if you think you are having trouble getting interview calls, start with some basic freelancing. Pick any one language that you think interests you the most. It could be C++, Java, Python, anything, literally anything. Pick up any one language, start freelancing in that, and you will get so many opportunities. There are so many people who are looking to build, say, websites. Maybe you can become a WordPress developer. There are so many opportunities available. You just have to pick up what interests you the most and just keep going in that. And your resume should be built in such a way that it sets you apart from the other people, and you get the interview call. Because if you are from non-sales background, if you don't have the conventional skills that companies are looking forward to, it's not like companies want to hire only IITians, or they want to hire only CS students. They just want to be sure that the people in whom we are investing our time should have the skill set that we are looking forward to. So if you give a company that, if you tell the company that, what, this is my resume and I do have the skills, they will be more than happy to call you, because they don't care about where you were earlier. They just care about, will you be able to do the work or not. So you have to give a proof that, yeah, you are capable of doing that work. Just think about it from the perspective of a company. Like if you were the CEO of a company and you were supposed to hire so many people, you just look for skills, right? You don't care about the background, and you want some kind of proof that the person will be a value add to your company. So you will try to look forward to resumes that are very different. So that's what you have to do. I hope it's helpful. Guys, let me know in the comments, if you are finding the session helpful, or if I should cover something more in details, if I'm answering your questions properly or not. I am looking forward to answering as many things as possible, right? So let's pick up the next question now. Do students with 6 GPA get job in top companies? Yes, this is all is very, like you should not be worried about all this at all. GPA might matter, during placements, like you might have a cutoff that you can maybe sit in a few companies only and not in the other companies. But right now, off campus also, there are so many opportunities. And if you have a good profile, you will get a job. Pointers does not matter. Like I don't even mention it in my resume anymore. So it doesn't matter. Really, you can get a great job if you have 6 GPA also. So now let's pick up the next question. There are some questions that are being repeated, and I think I have already answered them. So just check it out, okay? Yeah, so another question is, Tripoli background as a fresher, how easily can we learn programming? See, if you're a fresher, if you're from non-CS background, I would personally suggest that be a part of some community. Now, it could be your physical friends with whom you're sitting and coding and practicing, or maybe online join some community, because right now there's so many opportunities available. It's just the push will be there. And when you solve questions, when you're stuck, someone will be there to help you. And when you also solve others' problems, it will be very helpful for you also. Plus, you will be more interested in solving sort of questions. See, when you start solving DSA for the first time, take it like, you're solving puzzles. Enjoy it as much as possible. So I would say ki, take it in a very chill way. You're fresher, you have enough time to experience and to explore and to see what works out for you. So as I said earlier, start with easy questions, start with very easy data structures, then try to move ahead to more complex data structures, more complex problems, and then slowly it will happen eventually. Don't be so behind just the DSA part your entire college life. Make sure that you also enjoy your college life. I am sure you can do really well in DSA, even if you're starting from scratch in like 6 months or 1 year. It's just about how much dedication you show. Like seriously. So if there's like even if you're in fourth year right now, it's not like you're starting late. I started learning DSA between my third and fourth year, and I was still placed, and I'm doing great. So don't ever let this come to your mind that you're late or you're very early. It is just about how much dedication you will put in and how much work you are going to put in, right? Let's get to the next question. My aim is to get into Uber or Google. The only thing I lack is DSA. Want to learn trees, arrays, linked lists. So need to know where we can get the theory and how we can practice. See, uh, first see what works out for you. Now, some people likes reading blogs, some people likes watching videos. Like for me personally, for very basic concepts, I quickly watch videos, and then for detailing, I read a lot of blogs, different blogs, to make sure that what I've understood is right. And then I also practice a lot of code, and that is when I'm sure that okay, I have understood the concept. I also maintain a lot of notes. Like for theory, it will be separate notes. For syntaxes, it will be separate notes. So different things work out for different people. You, if you are in college, you already know what works out for you. Whatever, like suppose you must have prepared for some competitive exams, like maybe IIT, NIT, something, right? Or maybe general maths exams, or if you are working now in college, you used to work, right? Now you have to understand what works out for you. Like, for example, some people take a lot of tension. So for them, I suggest that, what, take a lot of mock interviews, because when you take mock interviews, you are basically facing a fear and you are practicing more. There are a lot of competitive programmers, there are a lot of coders who do really well in general, who can write code very fast, but they do terrible during interviews because they take so much tension. So for such people, I highly suggest take mock interviews. Whereas there are people who are very confident in interviews and stuff, but they need to work on their technical skills. So for them, I suggest that, see what works out for you, like blogs, watching videos, what works out, maintain notes, practice as much as possible, uh, you know, spend more time into technical things. So do your analysis about what works out for you, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and see what part do you need to work on more. Some people might need more help with soft skills, because you might be great in technical skills, but but if you can't explain it during the interview, if you do not have the communication skills, you might still not be able to get into any good company, right? So you need to work equally on all the skills. And if you're someone who has even like a bit of experience, then nowadays, like from freshers, like DSA will be asked more. But if you have experience, then system design will be asked more. Nowadays, low level system design, that is LLD, is asked from freshers also. So it doesn't matter if you're fresher or if you are working, you need to be good in low level design. And that is why, like personally, also in my content, I'm focusing a lot on design patterns, on low level design, because that is the future. That is what companies are looking forward to see, whether you can write code or not, whether you can apply object oriented programming in real code or not. So if you have to learn after DSA, you have to be thorough with LLD. And then as you get more and more experience, you have to be good in HLD as well. So, yep. Let's get to more questions. Companies looking for CS background in their job description. If they ask me in the interview, why you shifted in the industry, what should be the best answer? The best answer is that you enjoy coding. As simple as that. What was your answer? Why did you really get into the industry? That should be your answer. Like, for example, I took a small break right now, like before joining Atlassian, and I was figuring my stuff out. Where should I do content creation full time? Which company should I join? And I was just thinking about it. And when interviewers were asking me, why have you not been working for last 3 4 months? And I told them openly that I needed a break and I was confused whether what should I be doing. Now I'm more sure and I'm excited to work with you, and that's why I'm interviewing. So be extremely transparent about it. If you are applying for interviews, if you want to switch to software industry, there must be a reason, right? Communicate the exact same reason. Like nowadays, I think companies are very understanding in that sense. They just want people who will do great work for you, for them. They don't care about what is your background, about why did you take break. Nowadays, even companies are highlighting, you know what, even after taking breaks, you can come back. Like, for example, if you checked out my LinkedIn, like yesterday only, I put up a post that, Uber is looking to hire women who took a career break and they want to hire back those people, right? So there are opportunities available. It is just about you should be able to explain that, yeah, this was my reason. It should not sound like, you are making it up, or it should not be like it doesn't make any sense. Just accept whatever it is. Like, even if it was a failure thing that you were doing, it would definitely be something that, there would definitely be something that you would have learned from it. So communicate that with your interviewer openly, and interviewer will definitely acknowledge that you are being so open and honest. In a lot of my interviews, it has happened that uh, technically maybe I did some mistakes, but because I had such a great connect with the interviewer went like, we do want to hire her. Like, whatever happens, we are hiring her. So try to have that connect. And that is why I say communication skills are so, so important. Like, another person might be technically much, much more better than you. But that is not the only thing that company is looking forward to. When you join a company, you're going to work in a team. If you're not able to communicate what you're thinking with the team, if you don't have that team building skills, if you can't openly express what you're thinking, then the company will be paranoid in hiring you, right? Again, whenever you have such questions, think from a company's perspective. They just don't want people who can, you're not going to work on like solo projects, you're going to work in a team. So obviously company is looking for those traits as well. So you need to show these, basically. Let's look at more questions. Another question is, I am from Mysore. I'm not getting any replies in my profile. What is the drawback? I added multiple skills from multiple industries in my profile. Is it okay? So, Pramod, no, that is not fine. So, you should try to see if you are applying for a particular job, your resume should be custom for that particular job only. So if you're applying, say you have experience in React and you're applying for React job, so your resume should have more about React. Then recruiters don't care whether you have experience in Java and Python, because that is what they're looking forward to. And also, if your resumes are getting rejected, see, resumes are first they go through a bot, right? They are shortlisted using a bot, because in a like every company gets like 10,000 thousands, hundreds of thousands of resumes they get, right? So they need some sort of shortlisting, and there are bots that do that. So make sure that your resume is ATS compliant. It has the terms, it has the keywords that a bot will be looking forward to. Say if you were designing if you were making a robot who is supposed to shortlist resumes, you're going to look for keywords, right? So make sure your resume has those keywords in your resume. So make sure your resume has those keywords. And once that happens, once the resume reaches HR, then everything should be properly highlighted in one glance. And it should be custom for the profile that you are applying for. It should not have everything. Like, don't put content from all the profiles that I have experienced in this also in your resume. Your recruiter is looking for one particular skill. Whatever you have related to that skill, only put that and try to highlight that as much as possible. So that will really help you in long term. In long term, I hope. Let me know if you're see Get your resumes reviewed, I would say, if your resumes are not getting shortlisted. First, I think it might not be ATS compliant. It might not be custom for the profile that you're applying for. Third, maybe you need to work on how you are sending the resume. Maybe you're asking for reference. Work on the message that you're going to send. Maybe, your uh, introduction that you're going to give and why you deserve that referral. Work on those skills, and there will be definitely more chances of you getting shortlisted. Let's look at the more questions. So another question is, company wants some particular degree. Without that degree, company definitely reject it. What will be the best solution for this question? Again, company is not looking for degree. Company is looking for skills. If you do not have that degree, do certifications, do some sort of thing that tells the company that you have the skill. Again, it could be like solving 500 questions on lead code, attach your lead code profile. Maybe you have worked on some projects, attach your GitHub profile. Maybe you have done some open source contribution, add those links. Maybe I worked on some personal projects, add those links, whatever you have worked on. Companies are not looking for a particular degree, companies are looking for skills. The moment you realize that, the moment you start believing that, your entire perspective is going to change. So if there is one thing that you can take away from this particular live session, it should be this, that companies are not looking for a particular degree, that you should have this degree or you should have this particular background. Companies are looking just for good skills. Now, how you showcase that skills, how you develop that skills is up to you, and different things work out for different people. We are supposed to figure out ourselves what's working for us. Like, for example, there are a lot of YouTubers right now. For some YouTubers, open source works. For some YouTubers, competitive programming works. Don't blindly follow any one person. Try to understand what is working out for you. Try to understand what you are enjoying the most, and then build your profile according to that. See, for example, I have never done any competitive programming. I have not done much open source also, but I am really good at DSA. I am good at dev. I can explain concepts properly. I have my system design basics in place. That's why I am able to contribute in my work as well as I'm able to clear the interviews. So there is no one way to get to the top. There are different ways. You need to figure out what works out for you. Let me know in the comments if what I'm saying is making sense to you or not, or if you have any questions. I am reading all the comments. I'm trying to answer as many questions as possible, right? Next is, someone is from mechanical background, want to learn about coding, learning Python also. Sometimes it looks very irritating, sometimes losing concentration. What should you do? See, the number of software engineers in India right now is a lot. If you do not enjoy software engineering, don't get into it just for money. Your work is something that you're going to be doing your entire life. Imagine doing it 5 days a week, every single day, 8, 9 hours for the rest of your life. Can you do it? If you're getting irritated and annoyed right now only, will you be able to do it in long term or not? If it is normal, small irritation here and there, that happens with everyone. Whenever you're not able to write code, sometimes it's not working, sometimes it's not compiling. That irritation is part of being a developer. But if you don't enjoy coding, I would personally suggest to try to do something else, because again, there are too many people who are trying to make it big in software engineering. So if you do not have the right skill set, you are just going to be frustrated and you're not going to be able to do well. So ask yourself, do you really enjoy coding? Okay. Now let's say you enjoy coding, but you are still having troubles. Then look for some mentors who can help you 1:1 with maybe doubt clearing sessions. Or if you think you need motivation, be a part of community. As I was saying earlier also, maybe sit with your friends together to code. Now when one of you gets stuck, the other person can help, and that is how you can stay more motivated. There have been times where I go for a walk with my friends and I discuss DSA solutions. That is how much we enjoy coding. So yes, if you can enjoy it that much, then definitely go for it. See, there will always be times when things will not compile, when we'll feel like, why is this not working? That irritation will be there. But finally, do you feel that happiness when the code starts, when the code runs for the first time? Do you feel that, uh, you know, uh, do you feel really happy when a particular code starts running, or when you were stuck with a problem for a very long time and when it finally works? If you get that feeling, then yes, I would suggest you to try software engineering in long term. Otherwise, if you are thinking that you're getting into this just for money, then there are a lot of software engineers who are still earning 3 LPA, 4 LPA, who are not able to make it big only because they don't enjoy it. That's the harsh truth, guys. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and tell you. Uh, Truth is the truth, right? So let's get to the next questions. I decided to shift to IT sector. For what I started learning AWS and DevOps. Is it suitable for fresher? Yes, Navya, why not? Uh, if that is what interests you, definitely. So you're getting into DevOps side. As I said, software engineering has a lot of domains to it. You could be getting into testing, DevOps, development. Also, you could be getting into front end, back end, any one specific thing. If you're enjoying it, then yeah, it definitely has a lot of scope. Everything is on AWS right now. Uh, Obviously, there are other like Azure and Google Cloud is also there, but a lot of like there's a lot of demand for AWS. So if you are enjoying it, it has a lot of future. Definitely go ahead and like, so don't be doubtful that there will be no future because you're not doing the conventional development thing. If you're enjoying it, you're good to go. Don't be behind. Like most of the people do development, so you should also do development. It's not like that. People do amazing in DevOps, and actually, it is very hard to find people who are good in DevOps. Like seriously, companies do struggle hiring good people in DevOps. So yep. The question is, I scored less than 60% in 12th and I am from non-CS background, but I love coding. Can I get a job in it? Yes, I am also from a non-CS background, and your marks does not matter at all, your 12th marks. It might be used in just cutoff during your college placements, but it does not matter at all once you get the first job. So for getting the first job, again, build a profile, do competitive programming or open source or something, or just be good at DSing and build a good profile, get a good GPA in college, and you will be good to go. Don't be worried at all. If you love coding, do not give it up. Just keep practicing. You will do great. Trust me, it has so much scope in the industry. Just, keep doing. Let's get to the next question. I am pursuing MSc chemistry. How I start and for what post? I am not sure. Like what do you want to pursue? If it's MSc chemistry, I am not sure. If you want to get into software, then I've been talking about that. So, Prajwal, you will need to give me more details. Going to take another question for now. Mm, I'm having 17 years of work experience in non-IT field, and I am having PG in humanities subject. So at the age of 41, can I start migration into IT field? If yes, then where to start? Yes, Arvind, you can definitely start. It will be a bit harder in the beginning. You might start with like slightly lesser salaries, but if you are good at it and if you enjoy it a lot, there's a lot of improvement that you can make. I started from a 6 LPA job, and my salary is like many fold now. So even if you start from like lesser salary, don't be disheartened by that. And even when I started working with 6LP, I joined a startup with for even lesser salary. So don't let that get into your head. If you're enjoying coding a lot, if you are liking IT sector, then it has no age in it. You can be 40, you can be 60. As long as you can understand the concepts and you can be good at it, you definitely can do great. And if you are not getting any opportunities, I would say maybe start with some freelancing. Maybe start working on, say, if you enjoy web development or app development, just work on something like that, maybe Android, iOS. See how much this interests you. maybe instead of leaving your job altogether, do this in like side as a side thing for some time and see how much you're enjoying it, how well do you think you can do it. Maybe take a break to figure this out, and then after that you yourself will be able to tell that okay, what is your future in it. Okay. Taking up more questions. Nice to listen to you. Thank you so much, Nitin. Please tell us a little about full stack developer, how to start it. So, Nitin, you could be starting your career, say, in front end or back end, one of the two, if you are a developer. Then, see, front end means it's more like what users will directly interact with, like, right? So, the application that you see on a phone or the site that you see, that is front end. And when you start working on backend services, like on the cloud side, that is backend. So take any one thing like first, and when you have understood that, try to get opportunity in the other thing. Like for example, I started my career with backend, and then I worked in a startup to work on front end also, and finally become a full stack developer. Then when I had experience in both, I realized that okay, now I know how the entire system works, but I enjoy backend more. So I still call myself a full stack developer, and companies are really happy with that, because if I'm required to do some work in front end, I can do it. It's just that I prefer working on backend, right? And that's okay for everyone, because everyone has a preference. Some people enjoy front end, some people enjoy backend, some people might not enjoy development at all. So just try to get experience in both and see what interests you more. But overall, I would personally suggest that if you're a developer, try to get that end-to-end experience. Starting from how the request is sent, how does it, like how things happen in front end, how is the request sent to back end, how things work in back end, maybe a bit with databases, networking and stuff, and then decide what is interesting to you the most. So yep. It is 7:36. Shantanu, you can also stop me whenever you think we should be talking more about other things, and I should not take so many questions. Just let me know. Yeah.
No, Katie, I think you can take the questions, and at the end, I'll take 2 minutes and I'll talk about a few things.
Okay. So I think we can take questions for another 10-15 minutes or so.
Right.
Okay. So let's take more questions. Someone seems to be angry that I'm not taking his or her question, but I can't find his or her question. He's again and again saying, "You're not taking my question. You're not taking my question. Where is your question, bro?" I saw like 4 statements that you're not taking my question, but I could not find your question. So just let me know the question again. Okay. So I'm taking another question. Can you suggest best course for English communication? Now that is something new. For English, I would say practice. Like talk to your friends or family or anyone in English itself. When you are even writing code, like when you're practicing for interviews, try to talk, like while writing code, how you would communicate it to your interviewer. Just say that now I'm taking this variable. This is why I'm making this decision. If you think you want to work more on that, then that's what you should do. If you are struggling with even basic things like grammar and stuff, take some proper courses to get your basics right. But it is just about getting the confidence of speaking it. Then it is all about the practice. Talk to your friends, talk to your family, or take mock interviews. Mock interviews are very, very helpful when it comes to improving your communication skills, soft skills, handling the pressure, and time management. I always suggest that you should take mock interviews. On my channel, I have a list of mock interviews, and it's doing really well because while watching itself, people can relate to it so much. The pressure that they are going through, they can understand it, and that's why I would suggest that you should definitely try it out. Yeah. Next question. What is the best company for starting the career in the industry? So if you are just starting out, you need to see, I would say that you should work more on your skill set, right? So you should try to get job in a team where there's a lot of work. I would personally suggest that. Now it could be any profile. Usually, it happens more in startups. See, because in big companies and MNCs, usually the products are a bit old and there are there is a lot of process in place. Like, for example, in a big company like Amazon or Microsoft, in order to make even a small change, there might be like a huge process to it. That you will get the requirements, then you will make some changes, then there will be documentation done, there will be a testing team involved, and after that, some release will happen. Whereas in startups, they don't have the luxury of time. They just need to, get things running, and they want to deliver as much as possible, as fast as possible. And that is why I feel that, developers get to learn a lot in startup. Now, now it could be like otherwise also, like in a startup also, maybe you are in part of a team, you are part of a product which was already there, maybe, or in a big company you are part of a team which is relatively new, so it can be opposite also. So that is why, more than the company, I would say, try to focus on the team and the kind of work that you are going to get. So when you're applying somewhere, check out the kind of project that you will be working on, and according to that, make your decision. Like, if you're just starting out, I would say try to focus on skill building as much as possible, and usually that happens more in startups. So that is my personal suggestion, that as a fresher, I personally suggest that everyone should really work in a startup, so that you have some experience in it, and you are able to build your skills, basically. Yep. Let's get on to the next question. I do not know what to do with my future. I passed BTech from my batch in 2014 and working in BPO sector. I need more money. Can I join IT company? I know basic in programming. See, don't join IT sector just for money. As I said, there are a lot of people who are not doing well in IT sector also. There are a lot of people who are earning 3 LPA, 4 LPA, like 6 LPA. And I don't think that much is enough to survive, like in today's world, maybe stay in cities like Bangalore, Delhi and stuff. So I would personally say get into IT only if you're enjoying it. I understand that, you have the need of money. So for that, like, I understand that you're in hurry, but you should still try to focus on what you are enjoying the most, and depending on that, join a particular sector. Now you could maybe get into teaching if you are enjoying teaching. Only if you enjoy coding, get into software. Otherwise, I would suggest against it. Next question. Learning software testing and automation, how is the industry growth and how to get a job? Say, for testing, I would say I wouldn't say manual testing has a lot of scope. I don't suggest people to get into manual testing. Automation, yes, it has a lot of scope, especially if you are working on latest tech and stuff, you can do great. And say you write scripts in Python and stuff, you can do great. But don't just limit yourself to testing. At least explore the options of development and DevOps and stuff, and see if you're really enjoying testing. Only then continue it. Don't just go like, because I started my career in it, I'm going to do that only. Don't be like that. Try to explore, and if you don't enjoy development, then yes, testing is good, but try to be more towards automation, because nowadays I've seen that more and more companies are moving towards that, our developers itself will write the automation test cases, and that's what we started doing in Intuit also, and I think that's what we do in Atlassian also. So try to keep yourself as broad as possible. Don't just limit yourself to one particular thing, right? I'm taking last 2-3 questions, guys. For ATS resume, where to go for data engineers? What system design concepts you feel should be covered? Okay, 2 different questions over here. For ATS resume, I would say, see, there's guidance available online. There are some basic things, like, for example, don't put your photograph. You don't need to tell like, earlier people used to write the objective, like, what do I want to do? You don't need to put all of that anymore. You don't need to put declaration unless your college is behind you that you need to do the declaration. And try to, like, bold few words and try to keep it like in one page. And there are a lot of guidelines like that for resume. You can also get it reviewed by people like me, and like there are a lot of people who are ready to mentor and get resumes reviewed. So do that as well. And for system design, see, this itself is a large topic. There are different things to do for low level design, for high level design. I do guide on it on my channel on LinkedIn and stuff also. I don't think I can cover everything in like a webinar. But in general, you can go through interview experiences and see what are the things that are asked, like for LLD and for HLD. And I think that will be very, very helpful. Guys, we are at 7:45. So last question I'm going to take. Guys, ask questions in proper manning. She is here to help us. Yep, thank you so much for that. There are many repetitive questions. Shantanu, should I take more questions?
I will give them some time for the students to ask more questions. Meanwhile, I'll talk for 2 seconds so that students get to know about our online programs as well.
Sure.
And I would request the students to ask specific questions meanwhile, so that we have more questions that Kirti can answer with her expertise. So talking about all that, now as Kirti mentioned, that if you want to get into the field of software and all these things, you should really be interested in that. Only just for the sake of money, we cannot go there. So if you are genuinely interested, you really want to do something there, and you want like a formal plan for that. I understand a lot of questions I can already see. People are saying that I want to learn, but I'm not consistent, this, that. So if you need consistency and you need a formal planning for that, well, we have got you covered. So Great Learning has a lot of online programs to offer in different fields. So let's say if you want to do a PG program in product management and analytics, we have a program which is in collaboration with Great Lakes Executive Learning. Similarly, we have an advanced certificate program in full stack software development, which is again in collaboration with IIT Roorkee. We also have a PG program in software development and engineering, PG program in cloud computing. So all these programs we have, and for all these programs, we are sharing the links in the chat box. So please check the chat box. We will be sharing the links for all these different programs that we have in the field of IT. You can go check out all these programs, and you can see, you can even download the brochure. You can understand what exactly we will be teaching in this program. Now I understand you will be having a lot of questions as well, whether we will be giving you placement assistance, what will be the eligibility, what will be the format, it will be 8 months program, 12 months program, what certificates you will be getting. All these things are part of these programs. You will be getting a placement assistance also. But if you want to know more about a specific program in detail, I would request you to go to the links which are shared in the chat box, download the brochure, and you can even get in touch with our program managers. So once you'll try to download the brochure, we will ask you for a few details like your phone number and name. Give those details, and then our program managers will call you and they will explain you, and they will clear all your queries that you have about these programs. So again, I'm reiterating, I request all the students to go to the chat box, find the links for all these programs that I listed, check out those links, check out those programs, and then download the brochure by giving your details so that the program managers can get in touch with you and then guide you forward about these programs. Now it is time for all of you to answer some specific questions for Kirti so that she can answer that. We still have 10 minutes left. So I think you can pick up a few more questions, Kirti, till 8, and then we can wind up the session.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shantanu, for that. So we'll start taking questions again. So people are saying, please clear my doubt, but they haven't posted the doubt, or they have posted and it has gone up in the chat. So please, if I haven't answered your question, please paste it again so that we can take it up, right? And till then, I'll start taking questions. So starting with diploma students, how to enter the IT platform. See, again, there are a lot of resources available for free. If you want to get into IT, start with some basic things like maybe data structures, algorithms. Start with basic development. Pick up any one language, C++, Java, Python, anything that you think you will enjoy. Start with any basic course for that, and then see how much you're enjoying it. Right after you start with this basics, after some basics are clear, move to advanced DSS concepts, move to web dev or app dev, do some development, learn data structures, concepts properly in detail, maybe get into a bit of low level design patterns and stuff. And this is how it's going to work. Don't get overwhelmed that you have to do so many things. Start with very, very basic things and things will fall in place. Okay. Start with clearing your doubts and concepts. Just start with basic development and start with basic data structures is what I would suggest. Okay. Next question. Someone is from mechanical engineering first year and he is not interested in coding. He is interested in mechanical software. So what should you do? See, I am someone who is in software background, right? So if you are not interested in coding, I will not be the right person to guide you, right? You should definitely go to someone who is in mechanical software itself. Only a doctor can guide you how to become a good doctor. Similarly, a data scientist can tell you how to become a good data scientist. I can tell you how to become a good developer. If you're not interested in coding, if you're not interested in development, you need to find the right people, for which you need to like build connections, maybe go to LinkedIn, maybe talk to your college seniors or anyone to whom you look up to and contact them that what is the future of mechanical software and they will be able to guide you. I don't mean to sound uh, rude or anything, but I do not have the knowledge to guide you to become a good mechanical software engineer, right? So um, coming to the next question, how to clear coding rounds as zero knowledge. Uh, you can obviously not clear rounds if you have zero knowledge. You need to work on your knowledge part first, right? So for the knowledge part, as we have been discussing, uh, like start with development, start with data structures. That will help you build your base. You cannot clear any round with zero knowledge. Now it can be anything, you will not be able to do it. Start with any sort of development, anything that interests you, and work towards it. And then we can definitely help you out, right? I am going to take more questions. How should you write better code? Tell some resources. See, for writing better code, I would say ki there are some basic standards, right? Also, if you are using object-oriented programming language that I think almost everyone is using nowadays, you should have your concepts of OOPS very clear. You should know what is inheritance, what is encapsulation, like what are the solid principles very properly, so that when you write code, you write the classes and objects accordingly. And get your code reviewed by different people, maybe put it up on GitHub and share it on LinkedIn that this is up for review, or maybe get some mentors who can review your code, but be always up for uh, like feedback, and this will come with practice only, writing better code. But I would say initially, try to follow principles of solid, single responsibility, write different functions, divide your class into different parts properly, so that your code is very well structured. Reviews will definitely help you. Okay. How LinkedIn helps to get a job in IT sector? I literally don't understand how LinkedIn works, how connections are made in IT sector. Okay, so for you, I got all my jobs till date, other than the first placement that I got because of LinkedIn. It is that important. So, firstly, you can contact recruiters on LinkedIn. You can search which is the company I am looking for a recruiter. You can message the recruiters directly. You can send in your resume. You can go to a company's job portal site and see what the vacancies over there. You can see the job ID from there and then send it to your recruiter on LinkedIn. You find the recruiters on LinkedIn and just message them. This is the job ID that I want to apply for, and this is my profile. This is my resume. Write a good message. So there is a etiquette to approach people on LinkedIn, and once you do that, you can get interview calls. Secondly, suppose you have an interview coming up for a particular profile, you can contact people who are working in that particular company on LinkedIn and ask for their interview experiences, ask for their work experience and what they think works. So in that sense also it's great. Also, other than that, you can put out content yourself, and you can get a lot of exposure from that. For example, you work on a project and you share it on LinkedIn. Now, suppose someone likes it, and someone say, like, for example, I have 1 lakh plus followers on LinkedIn, 1 lakh 4,000 plus. So if I comment, you're going to get a good reach for sure. So say you worked on a project, you commented, and you put it up on LinkedIn, and I went and commented. Now it will give you a very good reach. Maybe some recruiter or some manager checks out a project and they really like it. You can get good opportunity from there also. Then there are always people putting up challenges, or say they are putting up opportunities like hackathons or stuff like that. There are so many things happening on LinkedIn. I would highly suggest, if you're looking for job change, or if you are looking for something like this, I would personally suggest you to be active, because you get connected with people who are in similar domains as you want to be in. So you can follow them and you can see what worked out for them, and you can follow the same things, right? It is highly possible that a lot of you came to this live because you saw the poster that I put up about this event on LinkedIn. Now, that is another way, right? You are attending this session probably because of LinkedIn, and that is the power of it. It's not like I'm not promoting LinkedIn or anything. It's just that I have gotten a lot of opportunities because of it. And that's why I would suggest you also to become active on it, right? Uh, Someone is saying, Anurag is saying, you missed the lecture. How can you access it? So this was live. You can check out the YouTube channel. It will be there forever. And I'm going to check comments later also. So if you have any doubts, you can check that out, or you can personally reach out to me on my social handles, YouTube, Insta, LinkedIn, anywhere, right? I'm taking up more questions. So someone is from BSc degree and his friends are doing BTech. They are laughing at him because, and he wants to prove that degree is just a piece of paper. Is BTech and degree both equal in IT sector? See, no, that's definitely not the case. And I see, and I do know a lot of people who have done BSc and doing great in IT sector also. Similarly, I hear a lot of concerns from BCA, MCA students also. Those who are laughing at you are going to look up to you tomorrow. Let that be your inspiration. This is your story in making. And today, if they are not confident, you be confident in yourself and you prove yourself right in long term. Tomorrow, when you are doing great, they will not matter at all, right? So don't do anything to prove to them. Prove to yourself. You know, you took BSc, but you want to become a good software developer or software engineer, and you want to make it big in IT sector. Focus on that. Your skills is what's going to set you apart. You are going to be very different. I started with 6 LPA. I started from non-CS background. None of my friends went into CS background. I was the only one from entire Triple E, like from NIT, who was like, I'm going to sit only for CS companies. And that was the kind of attitude that I had. And now a lot of people tell me that I'm doing great. But at that time, I don't think anyone understood that what the hell am I doing? It was my story was very alone at that time, right? And no one knew what I was doing. I just took a lot of help and I was motivated and I enjoyed it and I went on. I wanted to do the same. And in long term, I am hoping someday you will put up a post on LinkedIn that this was the session that motivated you. And, maybe I hope that, hearing this helped you something. And guys in comments also, let's try to be more mindful and more supportive. It, it just annoys me so much that, people laugh at others because they don't have the degree and stuff. I don't know, from BTech also there are people who are getting 3 4 LP and stuff. Okay, so I don't think they are going to do great. So just just be mindful and be very supportive of each other on platforms like this, because let's grow together. We are going to do great. uh, Someone is asking for my YouTube and LinkedIn name. So my name is Kirti Purswani, K-E-E-R-T-I. PURSWNI, as you could have, you must have seen in the thumbnail and the poster and stuff. Same is my YouTube channel and my LinkedIn, my Insta. Everything is same. You can connect with me. Okay. I guess we are out of time now. Hoping I did answer few of your questions. Feel free to let me know your feedback in the comments. I hope you had a good time. You took out your time on Sunday to come meet me. Thank you so much for that. It really means a lot. Shantanu, over to you.
Yes, thank you, Kirti. I think the session was wonderful. Students too were very, very interactive. All the learners throughout, they were very enthusiastic, were asking a lot of questions. And I'm sure like you must have motivated them. And there were so many insightful things that you have shared with them, which definitely will help them. So once again, thank you, Kirti, for this wonderful session. And thank you all the learners for being very, very enthusiastic throughout this 1 hour of session on Sunday and giving us your time. Along with that, I would again like to point out for whatever courses I told you in product management, cloud computing, software development, and engineering, if you're interested in any of these programs, again, in the chat box with the name Great Learning, we have shared a few links. Please visit those links, download our brochure. You will get a call from our program manager, and they will help you out further with these programs. Thank you once again. We'll wind up the session now.
Thank you so much, guys. It was great meeting you. Bye-bye.